Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. If you guys even remember what this room looks like. So I've been getting a lot of questions. Where the hell are you? What happened to the last room? What's going on? And I've said a few times, especially on Instagram, I forget it doesn't always carry over to YouTube all the time. But said on Instagram, had something come up that caused me to bring down my room for the good, we'll say. It wasn't any bad reason. It had value to it, we'll say that. Anyway, no problem bringing down my room. So in the process, I completely took it down, took the foam off the wall, which is the Artec that I've always used as, wall material, replaced it with some plywood, cleaned everything, repainted everything. I'm in the process right now, just primering up the new plywood with some Kills mold and mildew. And then I'll put the bare coat on it soon here and be back up and running. So like I said, getting a lot of questions. Where the hell are you? What have you been doing? What's getting wrong? What's wrong with the room? Nothing. Like I said, just an opportunity to bring it down and then get to rebuild it. And so we're rebuilding it. I got some footage of putting the walls up, nothing special, but once the equipment starts getting in here, we'll cover everything from irrigation, Trollmaster, trays and stands, drainage, airflow, fans. I got some new fans coming. A few things. Not fully set on what I'm going to do with the ceiling or roof. It's still kind of up in the air. Just figuring it all out. But as it stands now, plywood walls, double coated with Kills mold and mildew. Oops. And then just a bare coat on top of that, or two coats of bare on top of that. We should be good. Will allow me to redo the wiring, all my Trollmaster wiring, all my irrigation, everything. Yeah, I actually redid the room well over a year ago, year and a half ago. And like I said, I didn't have to redo the room. It just kind of had the opportunity. Yeah, floor is fucking disgusting. Had some par maps going on here, and this is kind of the main walkway, always right here. Did some par maps, just a fucking mess. So I actually have to go get more primer to do the floors as well as some bare. Pirate, what's up, man? Any update on more strips? A couple weeks. They're at the components are being built right now, so it could be a matter of like a week or two, probably possibly even end of next week, shipping back to us. So I think like 2 weeks on more strips. As usual, if we take them offline for 2 weeks, when they do go back online, they just gonzo. Am I gonna finish Mouse's How to Build a Grow Room? No, I'm not gonna finish it. I will just show what I do. But yeah, bummer to see Mouse bail out on that. But if you saw one of his last lives on Instagram, dude's doing fine. No need to worry about him. Am I happy with the Trollmaster? Yeah, I'm very happy with the Trollmaster. I guess I don't have any of it in here, but having everything on the wall controlled in one and available by phone is great. Even almost makes me want to go back to the Hyperfan or get just a standard speed controller of the AC Infinity because it doesn't integrate with the Trollmaster when you use that. It's kind of a separate. It's nice to have a double kind of a fallback to look out on, but yeah, I like the Trollmaster. So still going to be lit with 16 strip PLC build. So the Photo Boost, the 1000 watt comparable builds using T-nuts for heat sinks and the newest generation of photo booths, which is they've been out for a long time. So anyone, don't worry, you have the newest. If you've ordered any time in the last 9 months, you have the newest photo boost. But I was running first generation reds on there for quite a while in this room. So excited to have everything new, everything uniform, 3KR instead of no 4K, 35K, back to pure 3KR, and killing. I was a little skeptical about the plywood for walls, but I think it's going to work out. Sorry, this is going to be a horrible video because this doesn't get wide enough to really show the whole room like the digital camera does. But what you're looking at here is 9.5 feet from here to here, and 7.5 feet from there to there, as well as 7.5 feet from floor to ceiling joists there. I'm not running any seeds. I'm gonna run clones in this first room. I'm running runts. I got hooked up with some cuts of runts, and they rooted right away. It was funny because the guy was like, "Dude, I don't know if they're gonna root," and I was like, "Don't worry, we'll get a few. There's enough to at least one will root." And honestly, I'm probably gonna pull 100% on them. It's a beautiful thing. So we're gonna have runts, and then I also have some seedling plants that I've been going from my buddy Schwale, who's a photographer who also breeds. Which is fantastic because he breeds based on head size. So macro shots can tell what have the biggest heads, and then he's selects from there. So anyway, it's called Glazed Donuts, and they're looking fantastic. Yeah, runs up your life. Oh, and look at these putters. I've been getting into some custom putters. Black oxide stainless steel. Super sick. Don't worry about that though. What you guys came for is the runts. So, runts, throwing roots already. They've only been in here for like, I don't know, maybe 8 days now. So, they're fantastic. And then also, oh wow, look at that. That is a Neville's Hayes male that I cut 5.5 weeks into flower. Cut it, and we got roots on it, cloning. Started to go back through flower a little bit, tossing some pollen right now, but getting into re-veg, so yeah. I didn't have to redo the room. There was no reason I had to redo the room. Basically, I just needed plants out. Long story short, just needed plants out. I took that opportunity to take the whole thing down, all my RTEC, all everything. It was really just RTEC and my equipment in there, not too much. The extraction fan's still in there, so really wasn't actually that bad, and just I wanted to redo it. What happened to Neville's Hayes? Same thing, just came down with the room. So yeah, that is what's up with the current state of the garden. It's going to be soon. We got roots. I mean, these things are going to get potted up soon, and they're going to go in there. We're going to run 12, 6 per light. It's going to be great. And take a little bit of veg time. I'm probably going to have to throw in like 5 weeks of veg, but should be good. Should be good. What kind of electrical lines did I run? I ran electrical a while ago. I don't remember if I used 8 or 10 gauge wire. But it's 50 amp breaker back at the panel, and then I have a 30 amp breaker and a 15 amp breaker in my sub box in my room. We can go check that out. So we got power coming in the room down here, shoots up this line into, it's just an old SPA disconnect. I've had this thing for God knows how long. I think I've been running this one 7, 8 years now. Just this box, moving it from room to room. Anyway, we have 50 amps of 240 or 230 that comes in, 240, 230, whatever you want to call it, comes in, splits off. We run it to the buses, and then, like I said, I got a 30 amp 240 breaker in here and a 15 amp 110 breaker, or 115, 120, whatever you want to call it. So 15 amps for all my 120, basically branches off here, and I usually use a couple like surge protector breakouts for that, and then 240 runs out here through some Romex and up. Ideally, I'd like to put that in some conduit, but it's honestly not the end of the world for me. But to look super clean, probably just take that out of the Romex insulation, because you shouldn't put Romex into conduit, and then run some conduit from that box straight up. Yeah, I think I ran 8. The issue was it's 50 amps back at the big breaker, so it's sized accordingly, whatever that was. I'd have to go back to the charts and look, but it's sized accordingly for 60 amps. I'm only running a 50 amp breaker, and then again, I'm only running 30. I'm only pulling 30 amps out of here, and 45 total if you count 30 in the 15. But out of that 30 amps, I only pull 6 amps. So, you know, I really underutilize my power here. I could probably add a 20 amp breaker there, and for my 110 it wouldn't be too bad. But I only pull less than 100 watts on my AC Infinity, because it's always dimmed, and then I've got some water pumps and probably 150 watts worth of circulation fans going. So it's an interesting power situation. It's actually very, very low draw. The whole operation runs about 1,800 watts. No, I don't care about light leaks during veg. We'll get to the shocks in a minute. Good question, good question. Oh, you're talking for the short run. Yeah, distance is a part of that. Again, I'm only running 6 amps, so I'm not super worried about it. But yeah, we're only running, I think it's like a 4-foot line right there. So is what it is. Have you ever tried building the best light possible with 100 milliamps? Photo Boost run, when you run Photo Boost at 1.4 amps, 1400 milliamps, they basically run the Samsungs at around 115 milliamps. So that's, you turn it down to an amp and you're already at that 100 milliamps you're talking about. To run a truly freakishly efficient setup there, you'd be looking to try and drive them at the 50 milliamp range, even half of that. And it's just not worth it. The cost to do it right now is just, there's not enough of a difference between 2.7 and 3.0 on a system. It just doesn't make that much of a difference, because it's just not there. It doesn't translate into yield at those levels. At least when you're given the canopy, 1200 micromoles, at least, it just not quite seeing it. So the cost to do it is a little steep. But you know, for just like saying, hey, I made the craziest light possible. Yeah, I've got some veg lights that are way underutilizing strips for efficiency. Like a 8 strips, 50 watt driver. Why aren't I putting RTech back up? RTech doesn't really do anything. I have some issues with the flammability of RTech that I've never worried about it because I run LED lights and it's not a big deal. But RTech in general should not be kind of exposed. And then with that said, in theory, instead of using plywood, we should have used some kind of concrete board, like a gypsum or a hardy board or a green board, something. But I don't have electrical running through any of the walls, so it's, you know, I don't know. It's fairly built to code. It is not I don't know what you would call it, like a living dwelling. So it's built to code for the storage shed that it is, but with a little extra just to, make it up to the standards that we use it for. Again, so RTech, the insulation values of it are very, very weak. It is it's 3 times the width of these walls, and I'm already limited on space, so that actually takes up space. It dents. Eventually it needs to be repainted. It's not that reflective to begin with as far as light's concerned. Heat it's very good at. Light, not as much. And so yeah, I just took it down to something a little hardier, a little thinner. And when it's primered and painted properly, it's going to be pretty much just as mold and mildew resistant for the most part. And I'll redo this room in another 2 years, 3 years tops. So I'm not super worried about it happening to last maybe like 10 years. No, nothing else on here. It's kills mold and mildew primer, 2 coats of that, 2 coats of paint. There's nothing that's going to damage this. I still got to caulk and seal all the seams, so it's ready to go. So all the drama with HLG and chilled, it is what it is. That's what happens when you don't use it's an interesting situation. I'm not even gonna get into it. But yeah, we're still making lights. Someone asked, where can you get the light kits? PacificLightConcepts.com will get you the strips, and you can also find a list of everything else you'll need to build. T-Nuts is supporting us nowadays with some really good pricing and availability on some, extrusions that we can use as heat sinks and frames. And then the rest of that's pretty much plug and play. So yeah, same place as my last room. Nothing changed. Just had to take plants out and took that opportunity to take everything out. Happy with the Fox shocks? Yes, I am happy with my Fox shocks. I put Fox 2.0s on my F-150 a couple weeks ago, and it's great. I have a 2-wheel drive F-150, so it poses some slight issues with the fact those are 4-wheel drive coilovers, and the 2-wheel drive and the 4-wheel drive don't just have different size coilovers, they have different size knuckles as well. There's a long and short knuckle. So basically if I put 4-wheel drive knuckles on my truck, I would have got a 2-inch lift in the front, and then so that would have done it, but it didn't. So the standard Fox 2.0 is at 0 lift for a 4-wheel drive is still a 2.5-inch level for me, and at 2-inch level for a 4-wheel, it was like a 4.5-inch lift, and my upper control arms were just fucked. So I had to bring it down. I am gonna do the spindle swap eventually here, and then also put a 2-inch block in the rear, and that'll get me up to like a 1/2-inch lifted 4-wheel drive truck size. And trying to get my hands on an electronic rear locker so I can have a locking diff. And that would make it the truck I would dream of. Other than that, I love my truck. So yes, thank you for asking about the Fox 2.0s. Yeah, YouTube's a little weak right now. Yes, I'll be insulating the ceiling, so that's what I'm not sure with. I will probably use Artec to re-insulate the ceiling, maybe double layers up there so I have some extra R value. But my thought was to actually plywood in the ceiling so I could use that space as like basically like a giant air gap, and then be able to extract it just as quickly. So, I know, thanks. You were just thinking about me yesterday. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of like I've got a few for the last few weeks, but like in the last week, I got a ton of people asking what's going on, where am I at. So this isn't a planned update by any means. It's just a babble on, but gives you an idea what the hell is going on. Why not drywall? Because I really didn't want to mud and tape. Didn't want to mud and tape, didn't want to cut. There's gonna have to be a bunch of cuts, so I just I went plywood. It works for my space. Like I said, it's, you know, if I was doing this for a 5 or 10 plus year grow, definitely would have done it slightly different. But overall, this is gonna last 3 years, no questions asked, easy peasy. Repaint every year, if that. Yeah. Word from Grandmas. Yeah, he was on Instagram Live, I don't know, a couple of months ago now. He got a new job, not in the LED space. I think it's in the IT space, or IoT space, excuse me. And doing some testing for some stuff. And yeah, he's doing fine. Don't worry, he's may come back. Who knows? But as far as life and feeling good, he's fine. He's given enough to everyone out there, so don't expect him to come back and supply with the content he once was. Okay, I think we've covered it. You guys will see more videos on this room to come in the next couple weeks here. It's you guys just saw the roots, so it's happening quick. Things will be in here before you know it. Probably paint tomorrow, do the actual bare coat, and after that, it's build up. And so I'll get the camera in here, film away, try to get as much as I can, cover it well, and see you guys then. Happy Saturday, guys. Good to be back.